What were the biggest takeaways from watching that film on offense? And what made you say?
Well, we assignment-wise, as far as missed assignments, we weren't as bad as maybe I thought, but the execution wasn't there at times, and I think you gotta give them some credit for that too. I mean, they made some plays, and, they were pretty active and did a really nice job. But there are also some things I thought was pretty encouraging that we got better at. Believe it or not, I thought there were some things in the second game that we did better than we did in the first game, particularly up front. So, the first, and I've said this plenty of times, you guys know, cover us, in this level of football, in Division I football, we have no preseason games, no scrimmage games, and so you almost got to sort things out in the first few games of the season, and not only what you're doing and how you're doing, but who you're doing it with.
As you're sitting there watching tape with Anu, what's that conversation like?
Oh, sometimes it's pleasant, sometimes it's not. It's always pleasant with me, I love it, but he's a very conscientious guy, and the good part, I watch with all the quarterbacks, but also when I watch it with him just one-on-one, it's not just what he's doing or what the particular play is, but the philosophy behind it. That's sometimes we don't have a lot of time to explain, but I want the quarterbacks to understand this is why we call what we call, and this is why this play is what is it designed to do, and so he understands the philosophy behind it. And I knew he was sharp. He understands the philosophy on it, but in our offense, trying to explain to him, a quarterback doesn't get a break mentally, from like some quarterbacks in certain systems, when they hand the ball off, they just carry out the bootleg or whatever, and they really have a break mentally from it. For our offense, our quarterback has to think on just about every snap. He doesn't have to call the play, but he has to execute the play, and he has to think what he's going to do with the ball. And so from that standpoint, we put a lot of pressure on our quarterbacks during camp and then during the game to always be sharp mentally. And that's a lot on them, but that's what we do. And he can handle that. And I think our other quarterbacks can handle it too. But I tried to explain to him in the game, I said, you always have to be on mentally because there's so many decisions you have to make in the course of the game in the system.
Has he started to exhibit certain tendencies?
No, I just, and again, I don't, tendencies, whatever, all you gotta do is execute the play. I mean, but in every play, there could be 4 or 5 options what you do with the ball. It's like a point guard leading a fast break on every snap. It ain't just a fast break every 4 or 5 times up and down the court. It's a fast break on every snap, just about. And as they grow in the system and learn the system, it's easier for them to handle those fast breaks.
When you watched the film, what were some in the red zone? What were some of the things that popped out as to why guys were stalling?
Well, we could have a couple better play calls by myself. We could have better execution. There were a couple things that were close that we didn't quite get done, but at least we converted them. We didn't turn the ball over and we got field goals. And Casey obviously has been really good, but we got to get touchdowns. It was disappointing that we didn't score some touchdowns, and we were close to getting some of those too.
Richard.